All right, welcome everyone. So this video, I was missing an important step in the Game 230 character modeling class, and it was UV mapping the character, exporting the UV snapshot, bringing it into Photoshop, and putting a simple texture on it. So that's a pretty important video. So thanks to my students who mentioned that it was missing. Here you are. So this is going to be simple, but it's going to be thorough. But it's not going to be crazy amazing texture. It's just going to be very basic texturing, and you'll be able to see where, if you want to proceed a little bit further, you can. So let's start doing this. So first off, this is the character that a character that I made. I modified it in class so that it's I think I made it Japanese biker. There's this strange kind of society in Japan of Japanese bikers, and I think they're really awesome. So this is my character here. He's got a t-shirt and gloves and boots and a nice pompadour. So it's two objects. You know, it's his hair and it's his body. And so this is in subdiv mode, and here it is in polygon mode. You can see here he's only 1,646 faces. So that's pretty good. All right, so we're gonna go to start with. The concept of UVing a character is pretty easy. All you have to think about is being a tailor. So you think about if you put a bunch of cloth on one sleeve, and then you just figure out where the seam is. And seams are usually right on the inside. They'll be on the inside of the side of the jacket or the shirt or anything like that. The inseam for the pants. So there's a little routine for it. There's not one right way of doing it. And just like I've said in class a lot, but there are more efficient ways of doing it. So this is what we'll start with. So let's start with arm. So we can see here that we have arm over here. Let's make sure it's selected everywhere on the back. I have some that I'm missing. Shift and hold it down. And if you need to know what I'm pressing, you should be able to see it right here in the bottom left corner. I think that should be showing. Yep, it is. All right. And so we have that little guy there. That's all set. We bring up our UV editor. And what I did here was I just selected the whole thing and did a camera base that blew away the previous previous UVs. So you may want to select everything before you start and just blow away everything by doing camera based. So everything is going to be normal based for this. Normal based, cut your seam, select the shell, and then unfold. So normal based, we have that guy. It's all set up. I look at what we have here, and I go in and I find the seam I want. Let's make sure it looks good in polygon mode. And I go here, select these guys, going all the way down, all the seam for the ones that I had selected. I go over to cut sew, I select cut, I right mouse button and I go to UV shell, I select the UV shell, I open up unfold, and I unfold it. So that is basically what I'm going to be doing for all of these body parts. It's just that same routine. So we'll go over that routine here for the other arm. Let's go into our face mode. Just holding down shift to add more. Look around, see a lot of new faces. No, don't get me started quoting Fight Club. All right, we have that. So that's the first step. Second step is normal based. Third step is edge mode and selecting the whole inner seam. if you make a cut and you see a hole, okay, so I have that's that step. The next step is to nope, that's not it. The next step is to cut, and I skipped 2 steps. Let me select the whole shell, and I unfold it. So if you are unfolding it and you get an error and it says non-manifold geometry, don't panic. That error will probably become less and less as you get better. But even, expert modelers can make that happen. But if you get that, just click on Fix, and it should fix it. If you run into something worse than that, and you look at your UV shell and it's become all faceted and the pieces are all broken apart, probably what you need to do is you need to just go back to your object in object mode and merge your verts and delete your history, and then try the whole process again for that one section. If doesn't mean you have to UV everything all over again. If there still is an issue, you can look at my non-manifold geometry video that I have on my channel, and that should help. But if you're really, really stuck, just don't worry about it too much. It's not going to, it won't end the world. If you have some non-manifold geometry, you'll figure out how to do it as you get better at Maya. Okay, so we have the arms. Let's do the hands. So I go here, I'm going to select face mode, deselect everything there. Just going to do the hands. Good. Normal based. That's what we get. Now these hands are going to look pretty funny. Let's see. Because, but don't worry about it. It's par for the course. Edge mode. So in order to separate, do the seam for the hand, we're just going to go along the palm. So I go along the palm here. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And along the bottom of the fingers. So like that. That should be good. And then I cut it. And then I go into UV shell mode. And oh, okay. So I cut it, but there's something missing. Aha. So see how when I cut it, it didn't separate it into 2 separate pieces? This was because I had 2 pieces not cut. So I found the ones that were missing. There are actually 3 edges. And I'll cut those. Now we should have 2 separate pieces. No, I don't think so. All right, let's keep looking. Aha, there it is. That one. And then I cut that. Now we should have 2 separate pieces. Yay, we do. All right. Remember, don't ever call yourself a Maya expert. It's pretentious, and Maya will always make you look silly. All right, so we have that one selected. Click Unfold. And then on this one, we click Unfold. And yeah, it looks weird, but it textures the best with the least amount of warping, which is what we want. We don't want that warping. So I just move these guys out of the way so that I know that they're done. All right, I'm going to go over to this hand here. Select that whole hand. You'll notice that when I'm in UV shell that sometimes it will select the whole thing that I want. That's probably because, well, it is because I textured this, and it knows that that's the only thing, the only UV shell that I could be thinking about. All right, so I have that, and that's over there. I'm going to go to normal based. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to go around and select this edge. Remember, if it starts getting away from you, you can always press F and it will focus it into that area. All right, let's make sure we have everything selected. I think I may have done it this time. And we go to cut, UV shell mode. No, I forgot something. Horrendous. Ah, there it is. Right there. It's just like a semicolon if you're programming. That one thing you missed. We got that. We unfold that one. We rotate that. Select that. Unfold that one. Rotate that. Move this guy out of the way. There we go. We have the hands. Let's save it. All right, so let's do the pants. So since he has big boots, it's just going to go to the top of the boots. So for the pants, I usually like to just select half of them to the top of the shoes. There's that. Yes, that one. And we should be golden. Great. And just like we did before, it's a normal base texture. You can see that that seam showed up. And then we have that guy there. Then we just do the inseam, just like a tailor. And let's look around. You press forward to make sure that you got everything correct. Did we get it? Yes, we did. All right, looks good. Let's cut that. Go into our UV shell mode. We have our whole leg there. And then, what do we have? What's that? What's that square? Huh, I hit that by accident. All right, so we have that one. We have it all set up and cut. So we unfold it. And there we are with the first pant leg. Let's do the other side. So face mode. Select this guy. Remember, you can select more than you need, and you can just take away from it. Make sure you have everything underneath the... Wait, we don't want underneath the shirt. That's going to be different. I don't know why he's wearing two shirts, but... Oh, no, one is a belt. And we still have that there. Let's look under. Good. Let's look around his boots. We don't want those guys. Get rid of those guys. All right, good. Okay, with that, we do another normal based. Grab this, bring it over here, like a tailor. We go in here. You don't have to be person of the year to do this. Yes, that's a Swiftie reference. No, I'm not a Swiftie, but it's okay to be one. And then we cut that, and we go to our UV shell. We select that. We unfold it. All right, now we have the pants. Move that out of the way. Let's save it. Let's get the boots. All right, so because I have the pants there selected, it should do the whole thing. So go over there. We do normal based. It's going to look funny. Oh, wait, we're missing something. Normal based. There we go. Now, so what we're going to want to do here is kind of fun. We just select the, let's see if we double click on that. Okay, double click on that one. Nope. Double click on that. There we go. And we're basically just going to do the foot print of the whole thing. And all right, that looks good, I think. And then we do normal based. Now, when I do normal based, I can pull that out. Oh, that's not good. How did that happen? Let's try this again. This time I'm just going to select the faces. Normal based. Select that, move it out, unfold it. Oh, see, there we go. Non-manifold geometry. It happens to the best of us. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall. All right. And so there's the rest of the foot, a boot. And I'm going to go into face mode and select these guys over here. So hopefully there's nothing terribly wrong with the foot. If there is, I may have to go into cleanup and figure out what's going on with that. And cleanup is in mesh option box. A very handy tool. I'll do normal based. That looks good. Everything on the top. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so for the top, there's a lot of different ways we can do this. The quickest way, and the way that will still get us some pretty good results, is to do the seam of the boot all the way along the back. And I don't know why that's there. That seam shouldn't be there. I'm suspecting something might be a little bit awry with this foot. And then we unfold it. Oh, everything looks good. Why is it? Oh, I know why. It was a crease. All right, so that's our boot. So see how nice that looks? Now, if we look at that with the UV map, everything is looking really nice. There's very little stretching on that. You can see a little bit of it going around the front, but that's really no biggie. All right, turn this guy off. So there is our boot. Let's go to the other boot. Make sure everything is nice and selected. Like they say in construction or woodworking in general, measure twice, cut once. If you cut in Maya, it's not a big thing as it is with wood, but you know, it is nice to not have to redo something. Then we'll go to normal based, And like we did with the other foot, let's go to, let's just select the faces down here that we need. I'm holding down tab and just painting these, those guys. All right, are we all set? Did we select? Yes, we did. And then with that, I'm just going to do another normal based, unfold it. And that's interesting. One side had non-manifold, the other didn't. Very strange. All right, and the rest of it, we see that looks good. We just go along the back, go into edge mode, and we select that edge along the back. And that's gonna be cut down there too. And cut. UV shell mode. There. Unfold. All right. Look at that lovely boot. Okay. So, and also this is a tutorial for making the texture in Maya. So I'm not going over Substance Painter. If it was Substance Painter, you probably wouldn't have to go to this whole rigmarole of what I'm doing at the UVs. You could have Substance Painter create the UVs for you. Although, learning how to do UVs, you can do them pretty fast because it's really easy once you understand the basic concepts of it. And it's nice to have that kind of control. All right, so let's do the chest. So UV shell, I select this guy. Now all I need to do here is just deselect the head. So go into face mode and deselect the face pieces. Tab. Okay, that looks good. Let's do normal based, and we've separated the head from the rest of everything. Now, this one I've talked about how you can make it, you could do the front and the back, or you could do a poncho-like thing. Some people, they may have gone down here if it has some pants on it, but I wouldn't do a poncho that would wrap like from the chest down through the crotch onto the back. I would do it from over here around the shoulders and down. Right, so now we go look for our side seam. So we go into edge mode. We select that edge, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. I think that should be enough. Let's check. Oh, there's one hiding inside. That's why it's good to go into wireframe sometimes. So go into 5, shaded mode. All right, shift, add. Go into wireframe, 5. All right, so we have that guy selected. The side selected, so I select cut. Now what this should do, hopefully, if all goes well, is we click on unfold and then we get a poncho. But look at this, great example. We have an issue over here, and these are the under the arms. So we have something going on, some little edge that we missed. I think I see it. I think it's that one. So it looks, you can see it's kind of going down and in. That was probably when I made the clothing. That's why we do the A poses, is because the T poses you can't, it'll stretch those arms and it'll make them look weird when the arms come down. So I found that little guy there. That's our problem. Click this, unfold it. There we go. Now we have a poncho. So this poncho goes straight from the front, goes over here, all the way to the other side. And what's nice about the poncho is that you get no seams on the top. If you do this in Substance Painter, you're not going to get any seams anyways, provided that you have enough buffering between the UV shells. Right, so we have the poncho. Let's find a spot for this. Move it down here. I'll probably put it on its side like that. Although, if you're going to paint it and put a design on it, this would probably be better. I'll leave it there. The head. The head is fun. Just normal based. Looks like so. Let's go into wireframe. Actually, let's go into shaded over here and hide this. All right. And then we go into edge mode and we select our head. Now, what we need to do is we start from the back and we go down here and we select a seam that we're going to cut. We're also going to cut the neck off. I find that cutting the neck off helps. I could be wrong. That could be superstitious. So we'll start with that. So we have that. We're gonna select the neck. And I'm just gonna select the neck here. Make sure I don't have anything else selected I don't want. Oh, that was a lucky one. All right. Then I do normal on that. And you get balaclava, or a baklava, or a balalaika, whatever you want to call it. And then I do a cut, and I go to UV shell, I select the neck, and I unfold. And now we have a nice scarf. All right, so we have the head set. Now this is really cool. I love this. The head is set here, and I did the cut for it already. So I'm just going to click on unfold, and that's what we get. Looks really cool. Turn on your checkerboard, and you can see here very little stretching, and that'll look good. You'll also notice that the textile density of each of these pieces is different. So we have larger here, smaller here, very small, medium, extraordinarily small in the hands. So the next thing that we're going to do is going to fix that. So let's make sure everything is done. Oh yes, we need to now take our UV shell for our neck and get close to it. So again, you probably don't need to do this, but this is what I always have done, so maybe I'm wasting my time. But I unfold the face and I unfold the neck. Then I go into edge mode, and I'm going to move and sew these guys together. So notice how when I hover over these guys, the two of them are selected. This shows that they share a similar edge, the same edge. And so I just select along this whole edge, and then I'm just going to sew those guys together. So cut, sew, and move and sew, and that should work. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't look right, you may have to unfold it, and then that might help it. Sometimes things just don't work right, and it doesn't like that, but it looks to like it here, so that's good. Okay, so we have all these guys here. I'm going to save it. Now we want to select all these guys together. Everything has to fit within this 0, 0 to 1, 1 in the UV editor. So we go to Arrange and Layout in the UV toolkit. We scroll down all the way to the second to the last, and we click Layout. So now we get this, and it may lay it out in a way that you don't really want. You also may want to make sure, I think if you hold down Alt on that, or is it Control, or is it Shift? It's Shift and Layout. That will give you settings and shell padding. I have it 4. That will make a little bit of padding. If you don't have any padding, you might see some weird stuff when you're putting your texture back onto your character. So the reason why I like to UV map all this manually is that I get to know exactly what parts go to where for the character. and this really helps in UVing. So, and one of the reasons why I'm moving these guys out is because the layout will convert all the stuff to the same textile density. So that's one of the jobs of it. And you also you could also take this head and put it into another UV map, but the textile density will be different. So it's up to you. Let's bring this guy in. I'm going to put that in the middle here. Move these guys out. There's the arms. And when you do all this manually, you get to know exactly what you're looking at. I'm going to move these in here. I can move these feet down here. We're in here. Let's put these arms in here. Okay, so now we're running into a problem with the feet. Or the boots, rather. I may make them just a little smaller. There we go. Let's make sure they fit. Now I want to make sure that when I scale that boot, that it's at the same, that both of them are at the same scale. I held down J to do that snap. There we go, there's the arm. All right, let's bring the hand in. Make them a tiny bit smaller. Let's bring this hand in and this one in. And there we are. Look at how pretty that is. Save that guy. All right, so now our job is to select all these guys, UV shell, select all, and then we go to, which one is it? Tools? Nope. View? Nope. Image? Yes. Then we have image snapshot, and so make sure you know where the file name or where it's going. The file name, make sure that if you're changing it, like I want it to go in this folder, and I'll call it UV greaser UVs. Don't put in an extension, so just the file name. So save. And just for that section, I haven't completed this yet. We're going to change it from my IFF to PNG. 2K is fine for this. The edge color needs to be this horrible green. And log aspect ratio, anti-alias lines, you can if you want. I think it's fine. I do it. Apply and close. And now if I look here, I move this out of the way. Saved file. So we're good there. All right, so we have saved the UV shells, and now it's time to go into Photoshop. And let's load up our character stuff. We have erase your character, erase your UVs, and open. All right, so you may not be able to see it so well, but it's there. This is where we're going to do some cool stuff with it. So we have our layer 1. We're going to double click on this layer. We're going to call it UVs. We're going to create a new layer down here with the plus sign. We're going to call that background. We're going to move that into the background. We're going to press Shift F5, or I think it's in Edit or Image, and we get Fill. So black. Okay. Now you can see it just a little bit better, but still kind of hard to see. So a trick is to right click or click on your UV layer, right click on your UV layer, select, where did they move it? Darn it, blending options. I think it used to be second from the top. We click on stroke, and I'm going to change this to that annoying green color, so that it should be, what should it be? 0, 255, 0. And then click OK. And I think I'll make the size 2. Yeah, I'll make it 2. Outside normal, 100% over. There we go. All right, so now this makes it a little thicker so that we can see a little bit better what we're doing. All right, so we have that. If we press Control S, it wants us to save it as a PSD because now we have layers. So I have greaseruvs.psd, and I save it. Now I'll go back into Maya, and now we make our material. So we go over here. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Oh man, we got to do that over again. I forgot his hair. Oh, silly me. Display. Wait, no, go over here. Hair. Oh, that's so silly. All right, let's look at our UVs. Oh, I forgot the hair. So, UV shell. Let's select that guy. Let's unfold it. We get this doodad. So now, where in the world are we gonna put this? I don't know, man. I'm not gonna do anything crazy with it. What I could do is I can move these hands over here. Yeah, that's perfect. So I did make it a lot smaller, but the textile density may be very similar. Yeah, the textile density is much larger on the hair. So, you know, the head, if this was going to be higher up or closer, you'd probably want to have you'd probably want to have 4K textures and a lot more detail. You may want to have a separate texture for the face and the hair. All right, so we have that going again. Let's do that process again. So save everything. View, well, image, UV snapshot. Everything is good. PNG, like we had before. Apply and close. Yes, let's overwrite. And let's go back to Photoshop. Let's load up our new Greaser UVs. So open. We have that. Let's redo this thing. I'm going to close that. Let's redo it. So we have UVs. Background. Move it underneath. Shift F5. Black. Go into UVs. Right click. Blending options. Turn on stroke. Make sure everything looks good. 2. Bright green color. We're good. All right. And then we're going to save it over this guy. Okay, so now we go back into Maya like we were going to do before. And let's delete that history. There's a bunch there. All right, so now we go into our hypershade and bring this over. I'm going to do a blend because I like it. It's a little shinier. Sometimes it's kind of nice to see that shininess. Make sure that we know that nothing's wrong with the shading. So we have a blend. I'm going to call this greaser underscore text. I'm going to click on this guy in order to create a file node. So I click on file. I have that. Image name. Now Maya will allow you to put a PSD. I don't suggest you do, obviously you don't do that in the final result. You don't put PSDs in with assets for video games. PNGs are usually used. TGAs are also used. TGAs are nice because they have alpha channels, and if you've seen my character modeling videos, my environment modeling videos, you'll see that alpha channels are used quite a lot, especially for foliage. All right, so we have our texture. Now, one of the things we want to do with the with this, I'll show you as soon as I apply it. So I'll select our guy, right click, go to the bottom, greaser text, press 6, and then I deselect. Now you'll notice we still have the wireframe, but this is not the wireframe of from Maya. This is from the texture. So that's pretty cool. Let's go into subdiv mode. Things are nice and smooth. Cool. All right, so now what you want to do is that when we go into Photoshop and we make a modification, we want to be able to see that reflect immediately in Maya without reloading that texture. So we need to go into Maya in Preferences. So we go to Windows, Setting Preferences, Preferences, and then we go to, I think, File Handling? No, File Projects. Yes, so File Projects. Down near the bottom, scroll all the way to the bottom, make sure in Image Files that Automatically Reload Updated Image Files is checked. Check that, save. Now watch what happens if we go into Photoshop and we change something. So for this, I'm going to add a middle layer. This middle layer will be the color layer. And like we did in Electronic Arts and character modeling, it was quite similar to this. There was a, and I'm sure it's with a lot of other places, color layer, highlights layer, and shadows layer. And that's essentially just like painting. You know, you can do cloth just with that. So we have that. I'm going to do some dots just for an example. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to select red color, and I'm going to go into brush. I'll give it a hardness that, and I'll make the dot bigger, and I'll just put some dots in this so that we know, so that you can see exactly how this worked, that it's now everything is just wonderfully UV'd. See where it all fits in. All right, so we have that, and we have Maya. Now you notice that it hasn't updated yet. I haven't pressed save. Control S, go into Maya, close that, and look at that. We have it right there. So all our little dots are just automatically updated. So for the character modeling for Game 230, for the final project, I just wanted you to do a very simple texture. So let's do something simple, and let's select all this, the red stuff here, and delete it. And I'm just going to put in some very simple textures. So I have a Wacom tablet. These things are great, drawing on the screen. All right, so we're going to make him have a white shirt. Now you're going to have to draw outside of things just a little bit. Oh, that's the belt. So I can show you a little trick about the belt too. With the sometimes like with that belt, I might want to have a different texture or a different color for it. You can go in after the fact, and you can break apart some of these, some of the edges, and then you won't have to worry about seeing a texture that's a little fuzzy. You can actually make the geometry do the really hard line for you. So that's a nice little addition. All right, so we have the shirt, the boots. Let's give it a nice a brown color. These are our boots. And like I said, this is super simple. I can go into a lot more detail, but I don't want to make this video go on for hours. Alright, so we have that. Let's do a darker brown color for the heel. And, you know, the reason I'm painting underneath this, obviously, is because the layer for the UVs is on top of everything, which is nice. I like to have reference on top. I do the same thing in Illustrator. All right. And his hair is going to be black, so that's good. We'll leave that. All right, let's see what it looks like for now. And for now, I'm going to save it. Well, actually, I'm going to turn off the UVs. So very simple, you can see there. I'm going to go back in Maya, and we can see that we're starting to see stuff change. Cool. All right. Oh, I forgot about the shoulders. All right, turn that on. So that's another good example that about the changing about that edge. So I'm gonna just paint a little bit on here, and I'll fix that in a second. Okay, so we have that guy going. Now in here, I'm going to turn off the stroke, so I can go in, select. Why is it doing that? Contiguous. Nope, that's not what I want. I'm going to select that part, this little part here. What I should have done was make those two separate pieces. All right. You know, just erase it like this. This can also work well. You also may want to change each of the colors and make them their own layer. That's also something that's useful. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways of doing stuff. Oops. And it may be that there may be one technique that feels more efficient to you, and to that I say use it. But first, know the techniques that other people use, because if you don't, you may think that your technique is fast, but in reality it may not be, because you don't know how other people do stuff. All right, so we have that. Let's save that one. And so that, and the pants, what should I make the pants? Let's make them have some jeans, because they kind of go for the whole American look. And then we're going to choose a color. There we go. Okay, make sure we're on color. This is left and right brackets for this, for painting, changing the brush size. Right, make sure you have enough padding out there. Go over here. Are there easier ways of doing things like this? Yeah, there may be. Especially if you use Substance Painter. And sometimes people will take stuff, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if they'll do that. But, certainly there are another way that people work with making characters, because polymodeling a character is not, also that's not becoming kind of like the norm. But like I've said before, we polymodel the character so you know how to, because it's going to have to go into Maya sooner or later, so you need to be able to look at it and see what it looks like. Alright, so we have that. Let's turn off UVs and save it, and let's go into Maya. Alright, so notice how we have this nice line over here. If that was textured, things might be a little fuzzy. So see how fuzzy it is over there? That's because this is a UV texture border. So what we can do is we can grab that UV texture, and this could mess things up a little bit in your UVs. I'm going to turn this guy on so I can change the color. This could change your UVs a little bit. Oh, look at that. Make things a little squishy if you've already done it, but it's okay. Probably won't be much of a difference. So I just had that edge selected, and I selected cut, and I'm going to okay, why are we not I selected cut. Maybe we need to go into UVs. Yes, we do. So with the UVs, I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to select them. I'm going to put one on one side and one on the other. This will make a definite line between them. So, what was I saying? I was saying about efficiency. There is a lot of tedium in doing stuff like this, but I like to think of it as actually mildly kind of therapeutic. Feels kind of neat to do this stuff and have a hand in it. So I don't know which one I'm selecting when I do that, so I have to just move it a little bit first. Alright, let's see what that looks like. That should be the other arm, I think, or is it this one? Oh, it is this one. So see how sharp that is? Alright, so now we go into edges. Select these and cut. Go into our UVs. Select one and move it. Select one and move it. I don't know why it chooses one over the other. Okay. Let's look at that. So both of them should be nice and sharp. Great. Awesome. Cool. and save. Go back into Maya. Look at our UVs. And what do we have left to do? So we have the hair. Everything is good. Let's do the skin. So let's choose. These are. I'm not going to choose a really bright color. We're going to choose something a little more. That's brown. There we go. All right, that looks good. Okay, we'll go for that. Go over here. I am not going to do details on the face because this is, again, simple. You could actually take your own face in here, but you're going to have to stretch it up a bit. There's some nifty tools that you can use for stretching like that. You could use a thing called Puppet Warp, which is a lot of fun and very easy to use. It's an Edit and Puppet Warp. And go do the hands. So obviously the more, like, you know, people have been doing, you know, Photoshop with Maya with characters for ages, but now it does seem, and when I was doing characters at Electronic Arts and Redwood Shores, we used Photoshop. We didn't use any Substance Painter, but that was, gee, when was that? It's kind of a while ago. It's a lovely program, though. Well, both of them. All right, so with the arms, I could go in there and I could paint, but I'm actually going to put a layer underneath it so that I can get it right up close. So this is what you do for your character. You just do something simple like this. It's going to be okay because we really didn't get a whole lot of chance to do anything more crazy. So turn off the UVs, save it. Let's look at what we have. So cool. That's your basic texturing for a character. Everything is not stretched. You can see there's a difference in color, slight difference there for the base. This one we probably actually want to have the same color over there for the foot of it. But yeah, that is the whole process. Oh, I didn't do gloves. You get the gist of it anyways. I'd have to go in there and futz with stuff. Oh no, I wouldn't. Let's give him some black gloves. So, some dark leather gloves, because he's cool like that. Oh. I could add in like a design on the shirt if I wanted to, just paste that in over there and play with it. If I were going to make a shadow layer and a highlight layer, I would add that over the color layer. I can also, now that I have these two, I can press Control E and that'll merge that down. Color. The only thing is when you're doing that shadow layer, be careful when you go from side to side, because you can you might see that seam, but that's why we put it on the inside, and that's why we use Substance Painter. Alright, let's look over here. Check him out. What a funny guy. What a cool dude. He looks more like a greaser equestrian. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the class, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.